You're listening to 91 Reasons, a journey into the twisted landscape of pop culture. Keep your hands and arms inside the podcast at all times. And now, the voice, Jeff Tucker.
Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock.
It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Be in front of your TV sets for the Horror-thon. And remember the big giveaway at 9. Don't miss it. And don't forget to wear your masks. The clock is ticking. It's almost time.
Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock.
All right, folks, welcome back. It is almost Halloween, and last year I did a Halloween show where I recounted my actual encounter with a serial killer, and it was a great episode that a lot of people liked. Now, in the year between then and now, I have not met any serial killers, but what I have done is I have run into so many people through the course of my travels and this show, and I was out at the That 80s Club in Fullerton. I was there to see the Flux Capacitors, who were there with Tiffany, good old I Think We're Alone Now Tiffany, who didn't go on till midnight, by the way, and I didn't even see. But I ran into a couple of really cool people, and I said, you guys should come be on the show. So I have sitting with me, I'm going to move the microphone over, I have Nerdtastic Girl and Mario, who I met at, Mario's even wearing his Flux Capacitor shirt.
That's right.
Right?
Gotta represent
Free
them.
advertisement.
Yeah, gotta represent them, man. They pretty much got us where we're at right now.
Well, that's
You know, they helped
great.
us.
So I said, let's do a show. So we've been emailing and Facebooking back and forth. What are we going to talk about? And I said, it's Halloween. Let's talk about Halloween, like monster movies. And this shows, I primarily focus on the 80s culture.
Yeah.
So when I told people I was going to do this, they're like, oh, yeah, Dracula, Frankenstein. I said, I can't. Listen, everybody can do those classics. I am not an authority on those classics. I'm not going to wade into the pool. I'm here to talk about the schlock and the classics that came out in my lifetime. So what year did Halloween come out? 78, 79?
77.
77. So 77 to like 89 is my wheelhouse of where all I did was, watch movies, go to the movies and watch them on videotape and beta and Laserdisc and all that. And you guys, you were like, yes, let's talk about, because you just did a giant article. Now, you're Nerdtastic Girl, and you have a blog, right?
Yes, I do.
How do we find that blog?
You can find it at nerdtasticgirl.blogspot.com. And it's really, really cool. It focuses a lot on interviews with celebrities. It gives you more of a story about each celebrity, whatever movie they were in, so you can know some information. Like, for instance, I just recently interviewed Danielle Harris. She's the Scream Queen. She played Jamie Lloyd in Halloween 4 and 5, and also in Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Now, she's the one that can be credited with, she's in the film that brought Michael Myers back.
So to speak. She
Yeah,
was
because
the one.
the studio, after the box office flop of Halloween 3, which I actually consider a very good movie for what it is.
I really enjoyed it. He actually met Tom Atkins, right?
Did you really?
Yeah, he got a
That's right.
picture and an autograph with him.
Oh, that's great.
At Son of Monsters.
Tom Atkins from Halloween 3 and Escape from New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just recently got a Lifetime Achievement Award or something.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very, very nice, very friendly, very talkative. He would talk your ear off. If
He would want to know your name before you leave.
Yeah,
That's how awesome he is.
I love when celebrities are like that. When
They want to know your name and go, oh, Mario.
He's like, hey, can I sleep on your couch tonight? I'm in town.
And I would too.
So you interviewed Danielle Harris,
yes.
and you were telling me before we started the show that it's not enough to just do the article where it's like, Nerdtastic Girl, how is making the movie? Danielle Harris, fun. Nerdtastic girl. Well, that's boring.
Yeah, that is
So
boring.
you were telling me what your process was. Why don't you share that?
My process is what I do is do a lot of research. Obviously, she's in Halloween 4 and 5 and the other Halloween, but to me, everybody knows that's boring. But finding out information in where originally Halloween came from, I think that's more interesting because we already know the story of John Carpenter's Halloween on down. So that basically I give a fun, interesting, sometimes scary story based on the topic. So what it does, it brings you into, okay, yeah, Halloween started with the Celtics, and then they brought it here because the Romans took over. And it was designed to keep away the ghosts and the demons and things like that because they believe that the day before Halloween, which is All Saints Day, is a sign of death and destruction of their crops and things like that. So they created Halloween, which is Hallow Eve. That's how it started. That they were doing these rituals. They did sacrifices of animals and things like that to keep their crops and keep the spirits away. So that to me is an interesting story.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So like they would face death and show death as a way to ward off death. Yeah, that's great. Right?
Yeah, and so when you watch Halloween, I just look at it, Michael Myers is supposed to be this pure evil that's lurking. He comes out during Halloween to seek revenge on his family for whatever reason. And I just think it's kind of like that these characters have to face that death. That evilness, and that's what Halloween originated from. So I just think it's interesting.
As far as modern day, I've done interviews about Not Scary Farm where I work and that sort of thing, and they always ask the same question, like why do people come to this event? Mm-hmm. And I always answer it the same way, in that death is something we all have in common. Yeah. So the way that we conquer it, the way that we face it, is that we face it before. Mm-hmm. In a situation that allows us then to conquer it and laugh at it, which is why horror movies are so popular, because you get to go in, you get to have the shock and the scare, and everything's hopefully going to be okay by the time you get out, right? Mm-hmm. Except in a case like Rachel just walked in. I dragged Rachel to see Seven.
Oh, wow. That's a good one.
And Seven.
I didn't like it.
She didn't like it because the good doesn't win. Yeah, everybody loses.
Those kind of movies are rare.
Oh, yeah.
So when they happen, they're the best.
That's why
Halloween, they're written right. That's why 7 was very successful.
That's why Halloween 3 is so good. Because he doesn't stop the signal; it goes out.
That one was so cruel. Right. I was like, when I saw that, and it was like, okay, boys and girls. I was like, okay, this is crazy. What is this? Then when they wear the 3 different masks, the skeleton, the pumpkin, and the witch, horrible things. And I was like, is it the mask? No, it's this thing that's an alien rock or something.
No, it's Stonehenge. It's witchcraft.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was some kind of alien rock.
Yeah, no, that's where it's Stonehenge.
And then he just put it in the vice onto the mask, and it don't matter who's wearing it. I mean, he just hated kids.
It was just horrifying that it was done to a kid.
Yeah. Now, when that film came out, I still am a huge fan of Don Post masks. Oh. And those are Don Post masks in the movie. And I remember watching it going, oh my God, if this was real, I would die. Because I would have my mask on watching the Silver Shamrock special, and I would just rot right into bugs and snakes, because that's like aimed directly at me. So talk about being mean. It was mean towards me. I'm watching it going, I would have died. Because most times you watch it and you go, man, Freddy Krueger wouldn't have killed me. I'm like, no, he would have got me. He would have got me. So, go ahead.
I don't know. But anyway, so that's kind of like, that's what I do when I did that one. That one's going to be due out tomorrow or the next day. But I also did, which I had a fun one. What also difficult was Alex Vincent. He played Andy Barkley in Child's Play.
Okay.
So he played 1 and 2 and The Curse of Chucky, and he was a lot of fun. Very quiet and everything. So, but I also did the same thing. Obviously, Chucky's a doll, so there's really no history of like Halloween. So I just talked about the history of dolls. Why are they here? Where they come from? What was their purpose back then? Some were used for curses. Some were used for children to accompany them when they're lonely and things like that. So some people use them as vessels for spirits. So now, I found information on that.
Did you ever grow up? Did you remember the My Buddy doll?
Yep. Yeah, that in my article. It also, because I got to speak to Tom Holland, the director and writer of Child's Play, and there's so much information of where was the inspiration of Chucky come from, the actual doll. Yeah. And I said, oh, did you and Don Mancini, who's the creator of Chucky, work together? He said, I never met the guy when it was on the, when they were doing the process. He said, they gave me a script called Blood Buddies.
Blood Buddies. Is that the original script of Child's Play? The title?
Yeah, and he worked with it to create Child's Play. The character Chucky came from his inspiration of My Buddy.
Oh, it had to be. Oh, yes. There's no doubt.
People believe that it was from Robert the Doll, the cursed doll of this artist Eugene. Robert Eugene and that doll is in Florida or something like that. It's this wicked doll or something. It looked like a monkey or whatever. But they thought that was the inspiration. And I asked him myself, I was like, so is it? He was like, it's all wrong. So, but every social media I went on all said Robert the Doll.
Isn't that funny? Because it never even occurred to me. The minute I saw Child's Play, I was like, oh my God, it's My Buddy. It's a horror movie.
That's what I thought too when I first saw it as a kid.
Because when those commercials came on, the kids got the doll and it's like, my buddy, my buddy and me. And I remember going, are they trying to sell a doll to boys? We don't want dolls. What the hell is this?
Especially big ones.
Yeah, life size. So the idea that it became a horror movie, I was like, well, at least something good came of My Buddy.
Yeah.
You know.
Go ahead.
Oh, did they also make Kid Sister?
They made Kid Sister. That's why my mom wouldn't buy me Kid Sister. Because she saw that.
It was the same.
She was like, nah.
It was the same song. It was Kid Sister. Kid Sister and me.
She was like, this won't fly. You're not getting that. Chucky is not coming to my house.
But you can imagine now, like the way corporate America works, you could see some guy in an office going, you know what we'll do? We'll launch a doll aimed at boys called My Buddy, and then next year we'll do the My Buddy horror film. It'll all be tied in together. And then parents will react, the doll will be pulled from shelves, then it'll skyrocket in value on eBay, and then we'll re-release it in the limited edition.
eBay and the 80s.
There it is, man. There's the whole thing in a nutshell.
Yep.
I have a weird mom. My mom loved horror movies. On a Saturday afternoon, that was our weekend in. Now, I watched her with her sometimes, but I didn't have the love for it she did. And when they started making dolls, like Chucky was the first one, she had to have it. Wow. She put on her bed. She loved that doll. She talked to that doll. My mom was kind of crazy. Now that I think about it.
Because when I first saw that, Andy, we're about the same age, actually. And, and I had like a little crush on him as a kid.
Well, sure, he's a good-looking kid.
Yeah, and then meet him in person. I mean, not saying I don't have a crush now, but but it's just weird to see the feeling of this. Yeah.
Did you ever see Trilogy of Terror with Karen Black?
That sounds familiar.
Trilogy of Terror was a TV movie with 3 stories. One of them was about a woman who was being stalked, and she finally turns the tables and kills her stalker, only you find out she has split personality, so she killed herself.
That sounds familiar.
But the best story was Karen Black is at home, and she has a Zuni fetish doll from Africa. And her husband's brought it back from a trip, and it says, don't take the chain off. So, of course, the chain falls off, and the whole 30 minutes is this doll chasing her through the house with a knife. That's where Chucky came from, really. Because Trilogy of Terror did it right the first time. The Zuni fetish doll sequence is terrifying. Even it's hardcore terrifying for a TV movie. Still holds up today.
That sounds familiar now.
It's really scary.
But you said that you believe that that's where Chucky came from.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt.
Well, I asked the director.
He's not going to admit to that.
Well, why not? Why would he make up a story like that?
Well, no, I'm sure it came from the My Buddy doll. There's no doubt. Because, I mean, Chucky looks like My Buddy.
He said that the idea of Chucky came from My Buddy. And then he said the Charles Lee Ray was all made up, that he made on his own. So he combined the two
the serial
with
killer
Donovan
part.
C,
Yeah.
And then which created...
Where Brad Dourif's like, I'm going to put my soul into this doll, you know? You're like, good for you, Brad. I mean, he's got a 30-year career out of playing Chucky again and again and again. God bless him, you know?
He loves it.
Yeah,
and
Brad
you can
Dourif's
tell
great.
He loves it. I mean, it's just so awesome. I mean, even for Seed of Chucky, that's awesome. But that's kind of how I do my my articles, my interviews. You know, I have the questions I have. You know, it can go from 5 to 15 based on how extensive I want to write about that person. Then I create a story from, you know.
Yeah, I think that's great. I
and-
think that's real encompassing, and it's interesting, and it's not just... Because, I mean, so many internet things today it's clickbait. So
Yeah.
it's like, the 5 reasons you should watch Chucky today. And it's like, reason number 5. And then, like, to get to reason number 4, click here. Oh, another page.
Yeah, they're just trying to meet their quotas.
Yeah,
that's all.
so
Trying to
I'd
make
rather
it-
have an article with meat that tells you, like, some interesting things. I mean, as for me, I'm a movie guy, and I devour any information about movies or pop culture or all that. And it's weird to think, like, you're talking about where Halloween started, and look at where it is. Like
Yeah.
when I was a kid, Halloween was one night. You geared up for it that whole month to get your costume and the right bucket, and then it morphed into a pillowcase, right?
Yeah.
And you went out and you were standing at the door like, is it dark yet? Is it dark yet? Is it dark yet? Running out as fast as you can because you got to hit all those houses because you got one night to fill that bag because then your candy quota's ready for the next month, right? Nowadays, like, I have kids, Halloween is 6 weeks. It starts as soon as school starts. Oh, it's Halloween season already.
Festivals and carnivals and theme parks that go all month.
Well, see, back then... Oh, go ahead.
Or Comic-Con.
Yeah, kamikaze, yeah.
Kamikaze
back-
is on Halloween.
Back then, I remember with Halloween that you stayed out until the next, like 12
no.
o'clock,
You-
12 a.m.
You didn't come home.
Oh, yeah, you were out there
No.
forever.
And this is before cell phones.
And now by
Yeah.
like 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night,
It's
a
dead.
ghost town.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah,
to turn
I
your
think that's
porch
really
light off.
sad.
Yeah, the light, I mean, it was,
There's nobody.
the sidewalks were
Such
packed
a short window
with kids.
to get out there and
And I
get it.
still got a 3/4 full of candy in my bowl.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
So-
exactly. To hand out, you mean?
Yeah, to hand
Yeah.
out, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
so
I
different.
did up 100 bags this month for this night. I'm hoping we get some people at our door when we get home.
That's sad. You have
This
to
is a new
hope to
neighborhood.
get people
Well,
at
this
your
is a new
door.
neighborhood, and our
Yeah.
old neighborhood was great, but I don't know what it's going to be like.
Well, you
here.
have to ask yourself, has the trade-off been worth it? We have traded the trick-or-treat tradition for, a one-night tradition. We've traded it for 6 weeks of theme parks and locked room escape places and conventions and movies and this and that. So is it worth it? Let me ask you that. Is it worth it, the trade-off that we've had to make? The commercialization of Halloween,
It starts in
as big as Christmas.
August now, probably.
It's as big as Christmas.
People start talking about it,
It-
decorating.
I guess it
planning.
depends on the generation. Like for mine,
You
I
get both.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, but the kids today, these kids today, they don't get
They
it.
they will never know how Halloween. I mean,
You
you
have to
have
go-
those
The
plastic
joy.
crazy masks you can barely see or breathe. you see all the kids have them up because you can
Yeah,
But then the stupid cords break so quick that
Yeah.
then you're just holding it on.
or rip like
Yeah.
just rip like tissue paper. I mean, gosh.
I always point to E.T. because E.T. has the scene that looks the most like Halloween did back in the day.
Yeah.
Because when they take E.T. out trick-or-treating, the streets are just filled with children. Door to door, house to house,
Oh,
candy,
no,
candy.
that's really as close to a movie like as I've ever had.
You know, another thing about Halloween, people used to make their houses into haunted houses. The
Yeah.
garage,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
the shack in the back, and it would really, really
Scary.
be scary. Now, it's just not like that. You know, you go into someone's house, who is that?
Well, I can remember.
creeper?
I can remember going because I used to make all my costumes, and I would get to the front door, trick or treat, and they'd go, "Oh my God, look at this kid!
Yeah.
He's dressed as an X-wing fighter pilot. Come in the house, kid, and show your costume off." And
Yeah.
I'd step in the house and look around, look at me. Oh my gosh, you do that now, and you're like, "Oh my God, are you okay?
yeah.
Were you molested? Did he touch you? I was only in there 10 seconds."
And they used to give real candy bars and
Yeah.
food. You would walk out of there with candy.
Well, hey, I should mention we have a lot of candy here in front of us. Look at this crap. Look
They used to give you whole baby Ruth.
I'm holding up a Baby Ruth the size of a penny. And they used to get, fun size used to be half a bar. And now it's like, this is like,
You should just pop them in like Tic Tacs.
yeah, it looks like a chocolate Tic Tac. Exactly. Garbage. I instead of eating this tiny bit of Baby Ruth, I would eat a sixlet before I would. And sixlet is the poor man's M&M. Right? Sixlet. You ever have a sixlet? You gotta open up the end and put the plastic in your mouth, and then you pull the plastic out.
Yes, exactly.
Like a cartoon
That's how you
fish.
eat them.
You pull the bones out.
Why does everybody eat them that way? Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I still do
I
that.
do that too.
I tell you
You don't have to
why.
open the packet.
They used to be long.
Yes.
Though.
Yeah.
You like, hold on.
I'll tell you why you do that. Because sixlet sucks. And your brain says, we want the candy now. And your taste buds go, look, just get it over with quick. So stick them all in there.
Pinata
Because it
candy.
just takes seconds and they're gone.
99
Yeah.
cents
Yeah, you don't even
store.
chew them. They just in your mouth.
They're easy to put in a pinata because then it looks like, ooh, there's chocolate in it.
Yeah. And like even the young kids are like, oh, it's just sixlets. A candy that practically tells you sick in its title. Sixlets. But there's actually a rung below sixlet, if you know that. And that's anything called carob. You ever have old like grandma go, I bought some candy at the store and it's carob?
What is
Carob is
that?
fake chocolate. It's a healthy alternative to chocolate. It's awful. It's awful.
Maybe that's why I never.
Oh yeah, I
I've never heard
know.
of
You don't
it.
want nothing to do with carob. Trust me.
Oh no, the candy that my grandmother used to have are those one that kept in those glass bowls, and they all stick
The
together.
ribbon candy.
Oh yeah.
I love ribbon candy. I'm going to bring it back. We
Stick
just
together.
Ribbon
had a
candy.
candy
You gotta
episode.
literally break it.
Yeah, you have to like grab
I
it and
love it. I'm the only
it was
one.
good, but
Slam it
God,
on the ground
just
or
all
something.
It's one of
stuck
those weird
together.
candies. It doesn't look appealing, right? Because it's all stuck
It's-
together.
it's
But
And
this is
good.
actually good.
But once
is
you
good.
get past it and you actually eat a piece, you go, well, this is pretty good. That's what ribbon candy
Even
is.
ribbon candy knows it sucks because it's clinging to the other one, saying, "Leave us alone. Go away,
You
kid."
know, you can always buy like the holiday can for like $2 at Big Lots or whatever. And it's like when you give out the popcorn tin. It's that cheap gift you're giving someone.
Yes,
Well,
yeah.
my mom used to get them all the time from all her coworkers, and I would get so excited. I'd be like, I hope someone gets you a can of ribbon candy. I hope you get it. I always
No,
get excited
ribbon
for
candy
that.
is like getting one of those pre-made Easter baskets where only the stuff on top is what you get, and the basket looks really full, but there's nothing but air in it. Ribbon
like-
candy.
It's like opening Leia's potato chips.
Yeah, it's all that air. Or I guarantee Rachel's going to disagree with me. But it's like going to the house and they've got Tootsie Rolls, but it's the orange and the vanilla. You're like, no, who eats?
Okay, you want to know what else I love that no one else
Who
eats?
bought flavored Tootsie Rolls?
I like those.
Who does this?
this?
See, I knew you guys would disagree.
And I like the little, what are the little orange candies that grandmas always have in their jars? Those are good.
The orange?
Yeah, like the little gold, the butter.
Butterscotch.
Yes.
Those
Butterscotch,
are
yep.
still good.
No.
I like
Yep, I
those.
love
Butterscotch are right next to
Do you
those ones
remember
that
the-
come wrapped like strawberries.
I like those too.
Yeah.
I was finna say that.
The strawberry one?
Yeah, the Mexican candies.
Again, you know you're in trouble if the wrapper is more exciting than what's inside. And the strawberry candy's like, look, we know we're ugly and we suck, so we're gonna dress up nice for you. And it puts on a strawberry wrapper. That way, you know what the strawberry wrapper is? So that your brain knows how to process no flavor into strawberry.
Those are good.
They're not good.
Nothing like strawberry.
No, it doesn't.
Nope, it
It only
doesn't.
tastes like strawberries because the wrapper says, well, it must. It has
I
to.
guess I just grew up on cheap candy.
We
Yes.
all did, and that was the best time.
Yes.
Would it
Yeah, no,
change?
we're all laughing and making fun, but it all comes out of a place of at the end of the night. Yeah, look at that candy. The end of the night, was there anything better than going out trick or treating with a group of friends? At the end, dumping it out and doing the trades. I'll
Yeah,
trade you this for
sort of.
that.
But you also have to check them too, because
Oh.
sometimes some candies.
We have to look at everything before you can have
Yeah,
it.
my mom used to look
There
at.
might
Wait,
be
let me look at
needles
them.
and stuff.
Oh,
There
and
might
trust
be
me, I know,
needles.
because-
a needle.
My mom was always saying there was going to be a
Razor
needle.
blades, I mean-
Oh, there was a needle in my candy.
No, your mom was like the Gestapo because the old lady down the street once gave us these beautiful candied popcorn balls that she had made.
Oh, I remember.
And I was like, that is last. And my mom was like, homemade, no, trash, gone.
Yeah. My mom used to throw the
No.
homemade stuff.
What happened? Or you ever have the house that would give you pennies?
Oh,
We
yeah,
had-
I did.
yeah.
that.
You know, here's 6 cents, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
I had people put.
If everybody
6
has-
cents meant something back
Oh,
then.
yeah, you could buy
Yeah.
candy with it.
That's true.
Do you remember bats on a stick? They were like taffy on a stick.
Oh, yes,
They were
yes.
called baseball bats, or the shaped fruits with the powder inside.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Remember this-
Like the
yeah.
crazy straws, only in little shapes.
Yeah.
It's a shaped
Those are
fruit.
good too. You're all making me want to go to the candy store.
I know. Or what was the sticks? The one that you take the.
The
Lick-a-Maid.
Fun Dip, the Lick-a-Maid.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
that
All
was-
right.
okay.
Settle it. we're gonna do the settle right here.
Okay.
Lick-a-Maid, Fun Dip. What you're talking about?
Yeah.
What's better, the powder or the stick?
The powder.
The powder.
You say powder.
You know what? I used to.
I never ate the stick.
The
I
powder.
ate the stick.
Oh, I did not eat the stick.
The powder, the stick's
See,
gross.
she's the only one that's right. The
No.
stick was the best
Ew,
part.
no.
Oh my!
I
Nothing.
always ate up my stick before I finished
did.
everything. So I'm sitting there.
Right here. We did the same
I
thing.
don't get it. The powder was the best part.
Tastes like chalk.
I don't know. I would tear off the green apple and trade my sister for her second stick. It
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
It
I
might
would
have-
dip it.
might have also helped that you could use it as like a cigarette when you were playing, like a big
Remember
flat.
the gum sticker?
Oh yeah, with the one puff. If you shot out, the puff would come out.
Oh, good times.
Yeah, I love all that candy. We've talked about it before. I like the candy that came in like the trash can or the mailbox
yeah.
or the coffin, so you could have a
Coffin,
toy
you get the
afterwards.
Little skeleton
They
together.
don't do that.
I used to bury Jawas in the little coffin when I was a kid.
And the Cracker Jack boxes actually had decent prizes.
Yeah,
Real
yeah,
ones.
yeah.
No paper.
Every generation looks back and goes, "Man, the Cracker Jack prize have gotten so bad now."
Yep.
Now,
I don't even, mine, one time I had a box with no prize.
no prize. Is that life like just screwing you over completely? Like Cracker Jack's not that good to begin with, but you're like, you know what? I'll get a prize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Back-
You open it up and you're like I bought a box of cereal and I'm like, I don't even care for the cereal, but there's no prize. Oh,
Yeah, they're not.
I got a real prize in the
Guys
cereal this week.
Missing out, I swear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the best Cracker Jack prizes was like a little plane that it actually flies
Yeah.
around.
Plastic pieces and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cracker Jack used to have real toys in it. Nowadays, it's like a fold-out George Washington that turns into Lincoln, and you're like, no, nobody thinks this is fun.
Yeah,
This is not fun on any planet.
You could stand it up or something.
Yeah.
Cracker Jack.
Now it'll be a QR code. That'll be like, oh, fun! I get to scan it with my phone. Oh, there's a virtual prize. I just gave Cracker Jack the $1 million idea. Some executive
I know,
like,
somebody's going to say.
QR code for the prize. Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, have you played those that were so off topic? Disney Infinity and the Skylanders, like they're so cool. They're just QR codes and a QR code reader. Like brilliant,
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah, I've worked at a retail store that sold those, and I didn't see the thrill about them. They were cool to look at.
Me
but-
neither until they came out with Marty McFly, and, the hoverboard, and now I'm like, do I really have to buy this? It's how much? 150? Oh no!
Oof.
Oh no!
Never.
Oh no! And I have to have a PlayStation 3 or 4. It's not even a standalone.
Oh man!
All right, so let's get back on topic real quick here. If you had to pick a handful of 80s horror movies that are your go-to movies, throw a title out. Go Mario, throw a title out.
Oh God.
Aliens.
Fantastic. Aliens, absolutely.
Oh, we keep going.
No, Aliens, man. 1986. James Cameron. sequel to Alien, he took one of the greatest horror movies of all time and made an action movie out of it.
And it's even though it kind of stands alone from the first one.
It does. No, it totally does.
But
it's connected.
gosh, yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
The cast, the directing, the direction, the pace, everything. It's one of the favorite movies above all genres for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's way up there. I can remember seeing the theater and just like being blown out of the theater. Oh my God, what did I just see?
You saw that in the theater. I saw it at a drive-in.
Oh, fantastic. Now, do you know, here's one of my holy grails, because every movie I bring up has to be somehow connected to collectibles. And there wouldn't be Aliens toys until 95, 96 when Hasbro finally came out with that weird alien line. But, I mean, not counting the big alien from Kenner, but Aliens. You know that they made a commercial version of Ripley's Reeboks? They actually appeared in store. If you were in the right place at the right time, you could buy Ripley's Reeboks. And I've seen them.
Wow.
They're so unbelievably cool. And you can imagine how expensive they are now.
Oh my
Because they cross over into sneakerhead collectors, which go sky high.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Lucky.
But that Aliens is so good because here's how I describe how good Aliens is. When Ripley and Newt, Bishop, and Hicks get back to the Sulaco, you're okay that the movie's over. What a great movie! She escaped the blow up of the air refiner, and then suddenly when the Queen comes out, you're like, oh my God, it's not over. And then the really good stuff happens. That's how good Aliens is. That power loader battle is flawless.
Yes.
And couldn't be...
And they didn't have special effects.
Right.
This was all either in camera or they had to do it right then and there.
Yeah.
And all makeup.
It's all model work.
Yeah.
Make models, yeah.
And miniatures and everything. And it just looks... Even now, when I watch it, it just seems
It holds
like
up.
Today. It seemed like today. Like it's 2015.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like 1986.
Look at what Cameron did. The same things in Avatar. The power suit the guy's in with the big knife. You're like, oh, he's just aping his own movie. I mean, they did that in Aliens, and they did it right. I actually got this. The Museum of Science and Industry had a exhibit about 88, 89, and they had the power loader and the Queen on display. And I remember just like, that looks like it could work. Look at that thing. Oh yeah, fantastic. The real one, yeah.
Well, it was the real one.
Yeah.
And it actually did work. If you see like the behind the footage,
Yeah, it does all the stuff.
Yeah,
and
the scene where he's actually picking, it does work. His stuff works.
Yeah.
A lot of his stuff works.
I think that's why Aliens holds up, is because they didn't try to dazzle you with special effects. And it's weird, like watching it now with a critical eye and really watching it. Are you shocked at how few aliens there are in the movie?
Yeah.
Like, he just used editing. He only had, 4 suits, I think? But through editing, it looks like they are surrounded with the beeps and the bloops and the radar and the shots of them coming over. Oh, Aliens is fantastic.
But I think it wasn't really about the aliens. I think it was about trusting your fellow man and surviving the situation the best way you can for a rescue.
Yeah.
I think it focused more on that because you didn't really see the aliens.
No.
Then you found out that someone is in the group.
Burke is worse than the aliens.
Yeah, he really was. It was all about numbers and money.
Numbers and money, right. The real villain in Aliens is the Wayland Corporation.
Yeah, it wasn't the aliens. They just happened to be there.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Burt brought them there. It was all a setup to get some aliens, even if he had to sacrifice his fellow man.
Yeah, and I think it was one of the first movies that really benefited from releasing the special edition. Because in the special edition, you find out that Ripley's daughter has grown old.
Yeah,
and
I have that special
It's fantastic,
edition.
right? And it makes her rescue of Newt so much more meaningful because she's saving the daughter she never got the chance to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, as good as Alien 3 is on its own, killing Newt and Hicks in the first 5 minutes and negating what they did at Aliens really just pissed everybody off. Because Aliens is so good.
Yeah, it really, really is.
And Lance Henriksen as Bishop.
And I had a chance of a lifetime in Monsterpalooza to meet Lance, played Bishop.
Lance Henriksen
yeah.
from Pumpkinhead.
And I actually interviewed him. And that would be another interview I'm going to do.
Oh, good. He's a great actor.
And took pictures. He's so nice. And he
Yeah.
remembered me from last time because we ran out of time. But I actually got to interview him this time. And some of the information nearly brought me to tears. That guy really is an inspiration. You will find out soon.
Oh, good. See,
And-
something to look forward to.
and I nearly
Give the address again.
It's at nerdtasticgirl.blogspot.com.
There you go.
And it nearly brought me to tears because that guy really worked. And I mean worked. And when you find out what he went through and what he did and had to overcome and achieve, every time you watch him on film, you're guaranteed your eyes will water up because no matter what age or things you go through, you can make it. And
Sure.
You
Well,
do.
look at the show that we're doing right now. I didn't have any idea that I could podcast or do this, and suddenly I was like, "Hey, I can do this. I'm actually pretty good at this. This is fun."
Yeah.
And that's late in life,
Yeah, and that's kind of one other thing I kind of focus on too, that the reason I don't just ask them, oh, how was it about this movie you're in? I kind of, what were the struggles that you got here? Some of them I do ask those questions for people that are not sure what they want to do.
Sure.
Can
Well,
they do it?
I talked about that a couple of episodes ago when we talked about Alan Rickman, one of the greatest actors of our generation, who didn't get a part until Die Hard. That's his film debut.
Wow.
He showed up in Die Hard as like, this is the greatest villain we've ever seen. Look at him.
Yeah.
What's he been in? Nothing. What do you mean nothing? Are you crazy? Yeah, that just
Some people
happens.
just need that one shot.
Late
one
bloomers.
chance,
Yeah.
and they become something spectacular.
And then sometimes you will watch something and you go, that guy's really good. I've never seen the guy. And you're like, oh, I've seen him a lot. I just didn't know it. Like Tom Hardy.
Oh.
When Tom Hardy showed up in Inception, everybody, that was where he really shined. Like, this guy's going to be a big star. And you're like, oh, he was the bad guy in Star Trek Nemesis? I had no idea. Yeah. He's Captain Picard's clone. Like, it's bizarre. Yeah.
That's actually a good film.
And now he's Mad Max. Fantastic. So Aliens, fantastic choice. Throw another one.
The Thing.
Oh, I love The Thing.
1982, The Thing.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Now, I have to clarify something. People think the 2012 The Thing is a remake.
No, it was a prequel, right?
No. Yeah, it's a prequel. I don't know how many times I have to tell people that.
Well,
It explains where that dog came from.
But the problem is that we've seen so many reboots, remakes, redos. So when they go, Universal Pictures presents The Thing, we're like, oh, another reboot.
Yeah, and
they should have just called it something else. I don't know, the pre-thing or the thing.
That would have been the pre-thing.
Universal presents The Thing before The Thing.
That would have been fun. Or they could have called it The Thing that, what was it? The Thing.
The Thing from Another World.
They could have said the original title or
instead
something.
Like, Thing indicates, like, we don't know the name of it. So, like, how about the doohickey? Or the whatchamacallit.
That was a candy bar,
That's
that?
right, yes.
The thingamajig.
Yeah, I like that one the best. It does not know you. It does not hear you. It is the thingamajig.
And
Oh my God, it's coming.
I think it would have been more successful than it was if they kind of clarify that. They
absolutely.
The Thing. And then
Yeah.
you see a trailer and it's kind of like, wait, I don't get, and it took so long, all these years for that one, and so people.
Well, the other thing is that you're the people at Universal, they're stepping into John Carpenter's world. And if you can't keep up with Carpenter, you shouldn't step into his world, because look at what John Carpenter did. I'm going to do a whole episode soon about all his movies. Look at what he did with shoestring budgets and just really clever, really good filmmaking. It doesn't need a lot of... I mean, look what happened when they gave him money.
Yeah.
Escape from L.A. Yawn. He was better without money. But it's not Escape from New York.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
But you know what's even when you see The Thing when it comes on, his 1982, when you're watching the doom doom, it's coming on, and then you see the thing, and then it seems like the title comes up. It was actually a cutout, the thing, and they put a trash bag behind it and burned it off.
Oh,
so
that's brilliant.
So it looks like it's special. No, it was just someone's backyard.
That's
and
filmmaking at its best.
That's all they had
Yeah.
back then. That's what they had. You had to have real talent. These people had jobs. They had to keep. They had to,
Look at Rob Bottin's work in The Thing. He's the guy that did all the monster work. No one. It's weird to say, no one had ever seen anything like that in a movie. When that head sprouts legs and walks away, everybody was like, what did I just see? And it's hard. You can't do that now. Everybody's seen everything.
Yeah.
So to see a movie that groundbreaking is just you're impressed. You're awed by it.
Yeah, they had to make it look real.
Yeah.
There was no other way, and sometimes they had one shot.
Yeah, because it's going to disintegrate or
Yeah,
melt.
it was one shot, get it right, or what?
Yeah. Well, Rob Bottin had a great run in the '80s. You talk about the guy who did The Thing. He created RoboCop, the look of RoboCop, and the look of Tim Curry in Darkness in Legend. Unbelievable.
Amazing.
You can retire after that. What else is there left to do? And he also did he did Total Recall. That head that
Oh, wow.
Schwarzenegger's head
Yeah.
came out of the big lady. Oh my God.
That was amazing.
Or the when Schwarzenegger's on the surface of Mars and he's like,
Oh yeah, he did that too.
or when he's pulling the
Thing out his nose.
that's a
yeah.
complete
Yeah.
fake Arnie head. And I remember reading Cinefex where kids would come around the studio and go, "Can we meet Mr. Schwarzenegger?" And Rob Bottin's like, "He's not here, kid. It's not real. It's not him." Like that's how good it was.
Wow.
And if you watch it today, yes, the one that comes out of the head, you can tell is a smaller head.
Yeah.
But when he's pulling that thing out of his nose and it's going, that looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I thought it
it's
was
amazing.
I thought it was a stunt double or something.
Yeah, and the
I saw
Johnny
it.
Cab.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
You know?
See, that's. This is why I love that. I appreciate movies today. Some of them.
Yeah, but CGI is no replacement for
you-
things.
Yeah, and it looked more real than the computer does.
Well, it's because your eye
Yeah.
knows what it's looking at, and a lot of things. Here's the downfall of CGI. When they do something impressive for real, you go, it's probably CGI. You know, like I'm not a fan of Crystal Skull, but when he holds the skull up to the door and all those things start dropping down for it to open, they really built that. And in the theater, I was like, another CGI door.
Yes.
And some guy's like, I spent 2 years on that door.
Yeah. But
2 years, Jeff.
Yeah, I just knew like the in the beginning of Crystal Skull, the minute I saw that animated gopher, I knew
Yeah.
it was going to be terrible.
Yeah, I said that. I just said that to my kids. I said the minute the Paramount logo became a prairie dog molehill and it came up and looked around, the fans went, "Oh my God, we're in trouble. George Lucas is now run amok. There's no need for it. Why is that in there? Oh, you don't get me started. I could do 9 hours. We're supposed to do a huge Indiana Jones retrospective, and I got to save all my anger for that."
Oh gosh.
Actually, I wanted to. Oh, go ahead if you.
No, go ahead, babe.
Oh.
Sorry.
Speaking of horror movies back then, I think this particular creator is pretty awesome and crazy at the same time. Charles Band. He did From Beyond.
Oh, yeah.
Dolls. Puppet Master.
The Full Moon? Is it
Yeah,
Full Moon?
Moon
Yeah.
Features.
Yeah.
It was actually a different name back then, but
Was he involved in like the Trancers and Jack Death?
Yes.
And, oh yeah.
that
Yeah. See,
That
I
was good
worked in a
stuff.
video store. Now those movies never went to theaters.
Yeah.
Very minimally.
Yeah.
But we would go, there's a bunch of these Full Moon movies coming out, the Puppet Master and all that. Oh yeah, I watched those things all day.
When I first went to Kamikaze a couple of years ago, I was standing at a booth and I was like, "Oh, Full Moon Features," But I was noticing wait a minute, I know those dolls. They
Yeah.
were all over the place. And I was like, wow. And I remember all the DVD, they were VHSs back then.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
There's all these DVDs, and I was like, gosh, I wish I could ask the creator or the director about these dolls. Why did he make these dolls? And the lady that was standing behind, she was like, oh, just talk to him right here. I was like, wait, what? He's like, Charles Band. He said, come here. I was like, oh my God.
And that's why I tell people to go to conventions, because of moments like that. That's a priceless moment.
That
the lady's like, well, he's right over here.
Yeah, and I asked him, I said, what was the story behind these particular dolls that you made for this? He said he just wanted to make something really scary and different. And they're based on just crazy thoughts he brought up.
Well, you remember in the first Puppet Master when the little woman doll is putting leeches on that guy? Oh, God, it's so scary.
And it's like, the camera gets in just close enough, you could see it come out of her.
And she's making like,
I know, always sexual noises.
Yeah, she's making sexual noises, right?
You're like, nah, this ain't.
Yeah. I'm like, look, I'm going to turn this off in 20 minutes because I can't take any more of this. Maybe 10 more minutes. Hold on.
But gosh, and then the guy, the doll, I can't remember any of the doll names, but the hands, those are real people hands.
Oh,
that doll.
the one with the little pinhead?
Yeah. A pinhead. That's what it was.
Is that what his name is? Something like that. Yeah. And he's
and those are real hands. Those wasn't fake. There was someone
like Swedish Chef.
Yeah. You know he did Rapper's Delight on the movie?
Yes,
I was laughing.
I was like, what's happening?
Anyway, but yeah, that's all he said, and I remember watching that as a kid. It scared me to death.
Yeah, Puppet Master was a scary movie.
Scared
well,
me
anything
to
with
death.
toys really gets you, like Child's Play, or to me, the granddaddy of them all, the one that scared the bejesus out of me was Poltergeist.
That never scared me.
You see, I saw it in a theater, and it had the Steven Spielberg name, and I was like, I want to go see that. And by the end, I was like, what have I done?
Well,
my toys are going to kill me.
He just executive produced it. He didn't actually.
He executive produced it, and it was produced by Steven Spielberg. Now, but the legend. Now, if you've seen the movie, it's very Spielberg. It's the same neighborhood as E.T., the same kind of house. The legend says that Tobe Hooper, the director of Poltergeist, was so high on cocaine that Spielberg was like, look, we got to finish this movie, so I'm taking over. And that's why it looks the way. Now, I don't know that for a fact, but that's the legend.
Well, maybe he was really seeing those ghosts.
Could be. Well, the Poltergeist movies were cursed. Somebody died on each movie. The daughter was killed by her boyfriend on the first one.
That was sad. I saw that special on TV.
Yeah, Carol Ann died on the second one. No, on the third one. It was the old man that died on the second one.
Yeah, because after the third one, she died terribly. Yeah. She was so ill.
Asbestos, right?
Yeah, it was like she had a blockage.
It had to do with colon. It had to do with something with the movie. She breathed in something on the set,
and she got like a blockage. She wasn't using the restroom, so to speak, or something. So she was starting to get ill and sick, and when they went to, it was already too late. She already started to get
it was too late.
In her bloodstream.
If you watched Poltergeist 3, the last shot of Tom Skerritt holding her, it's not her because you don't see her face. It's really sad.
Yeah, it was. She was like 12.
Yeah, very young. She had a long career ahead of her. A very long career.
Long. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Wow.
But she was, in the first Poltergeist, she was terrified.
Oh, yeah.
She was terrified. What they used to do is during the takes, Steven Spielberg would come to her and, try to, are you okay? Do you need anything? And as soon as he see her too scared, he would say cut, and he would play with her. Everybody would run and dance just so she wouldn't get
You have
terrified.
to do that with kids. Like, I just read that the kid in The Shining didn't know he was in a horror movie. Wow. Kubrick never let on that it was a horror movie. He thought he was in just a happy-go-lucky little movie about a hotel. Like, that's brilliant.
That is brilliant.
Brilliant, because you get the performance out of the kid without doing, like, Linda Blair was traumatized forever from Exorcist.
Yeah.
Forever.
But there are some cases where the kid knows they're in.
You're talking about Child's Play?
Child's Play. He knew from the get-go that he was in.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way to explain away the dog going, come on, let's go kill that guy.
He said he knew, and interesting, I also interviewed, Harvey Stevens. He played Damien.
Oh, The Omen.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
And
nice.
That was a fun article, and he said there's a scene which it's one of your favorites when they were in the car and he just went berserk. And I asked him, I had a chance to ask him, so, why did you go crazy when you guys were driving to the church and whatnot? He said the director told him, without telling the two other actors, pulled him aside and told him, okay, I put something in her wig, and I don't care what you do. You pull it out and give it to me.
Oh, that's
you
great.
just act, I don't care. I don't care. Just get it. So when they got in the car and it was like action for that scene, that's why he was going crazy. Not because it was like, okay, action. And she didn't know this whole time. Her job was to hold him. His job was to get.
That's how you get the performance.
And throughout that, he actually pulled out some of her hair.
Oh, jeez.
So, and he got the part because the director,
Richard Donner.
picked him up and said, I want you to kick and scream and holler. I don't care. So when he picked him up, he just went nuts and kicked him in the nuts and just like pulled his hair.
Hey, some kids
and
get
when
it,
he put him down, he said he got it.
Have you ever seen the demo reel of Henry Thomas and E.T.? It's on the special edition where it's Spielberg talking to him, and they just go, okay, we're going to roll now, and we're going to take E.T. away from you.
Wow.
And he goes, we're going to take him away. And he goes, you can't take, and the kid starts crying. And you're like, oh my God, no wonder he got the part. That kid's amazing. Oh my God. Same with Haley Joel Osment and Forrest Gump. Like that, that audition tape is priceless. It's on YouTube. You can check it out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So what else you got? What other horror movies are in you? You got notes. I love it.
Of course. Also, I want to say he's kind of like an unknown. I'm not sure his name is Larry Cohen. He wrote, and directed It's Alive.
Okay, yeah.
those?
Cult classic about the kid in the stroller, the monster, yeah. And It's Alive too.
It's Alive, and one of his known famous ones, The Stuff.
Oh, yes. That was Empire Pictures. The Stuff.
And I interviewed him too. So that one's going to be coming out soon.
Yeah, I remember The Stuff was about this organic stuff that creeps up that's like candy, sweet, whipped cream, and everyone's like addicted to it. But the poster was, what you don't know is it's eating you.
Oh my God. Yeah. But it was actually because he said it was an alien. It was an alien substance that just consumes your body. It eats you alive from inside out and creates a shell. Like it just sucks you dry, basically. And then I asked him, I said, what was the idea of that? And the idea of It's Alive. And he told me why he did It's Alive and what was it about, which I'm not going to say right now. But you have to read about it.
It'll be on your blog.
Yeah, and in The Stuff, I laughed so hard when he was telling me why he did it. And it kind of makes sense, with this, media and everything now. And it still makes sense. It makes sense then and it still makes sense now.
There was a whole run of really fun horror movies like that in the 80s that a lot of them made it to theaters, and the ones that didn't were still good, but like, you're talking about The Stuff and the original Troll with Sonny Bono.
Wow, yeah.
And House 2, the second story. And the remake of The Blob. Did you ever see that with Shawnee Smith?
I actually liked that. People were like,
"Oh no!"
I thought it was better.
That Blob remake's fantastic.
Yeah, see, there's a few remakes that
That one benefited from better special effects, more emphasis on story, and Kevin Dillon's in it from Entourage.
Wow.
He's the boyfriend that's like, we got to get out of town.
Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
You remember how it ends? With the evil one-eyed preacher.
And then the one...
He's got a little piece in the jar, and you're like, oh,
it's going to be part 3. It's going to be another part 2.
They never made a sequel.
No. And I did ask Larry Cohen about The Stuff. Like, would he have made a number 2? And he said...
He's like, well, after lunch, baby.
He said he would have made a number 2. And he would do it today. if he could get the rights of it.
Oh,
But he doesn't have the rights.
I wonder who bought all that Empire
He
stuff.
said he would have
because
to-
Empire went out of business.
So he said he wouldn't really tell me, but he said he would have to go through bells and whistles and everything else just to do a
Empire
cartoon.
was one of those companies that would put out the title of the movie and even a poster before they even had a movie. Like they had one called I want to say it was called Laser Blast, but Laser Blast actually got made. But there was a movie that was supposed to come out probably 85, 86. Do you remember Jason Lively? He played Rusty in European Vacation.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's wearing a backpack with a laser gun, and it's like this boy found a spacecraft with a laser gun, and now he's running through town. I'm like, oh, cool. And then there's no movie. I don't think they ever made the movie,
No.
even though I wanted to see it. You know what? I bet it probably somebody will go. No, Jeff, I've seen that movie, and they'll send it to Hindel's already typing for it. Jason Lively laser gun movie.
Another guy that I met, he comes up, with some crazy movies. Lloyd Kaufman.
Oh, Lloyd Kaufman from Trauma.
Yeah,
Uncle
my
Lloyd.
God. The first time he saw
He's crazy. I love it.
Poultry Guys.
Yes, Poultrygeist.
It is so bad it's good.
Yeah, that's
Tox-
that's Lloyd's specialty.
Yeah,
That-
Toxic Avenger was
Yeah.
pretty good
Yeah,
And
Sergeant Kabuki Man.
I never laughed so hard and was so disgusted, and it was just, I don't even know how to explain
Well,
it.
like-
It was so good, but it was just, it's so gory.
I got Toxic Avenger when it came out on at the video store because we'd heard about it. Like, this movie's messed up. And it's this little nerdy guy who gets dumped in sludge, and he comes out, and the Toxic Avenger's like all mutated, wearing a tutu and carrying a mop, and he has a hot girlfriend. It was like, what the hell is this?
too. A blonde.
Yeah, hot blonde, right? And we've met Lloyd at a bunch of cons. He's the nicest guy, and his mantra is anybody can make a movie. You don't
Yeah.
need permission. You don't need this. You just make the movie. And in this, like 20 years ago or 30 years ago, that was pretty difficult. Nowadays, you can make a movie with the equipment's on your phone to make a movie. So it's really become practical for that kind of advice, you know. And if you've seen his booth, he's got 100 movies like made for 10 cents a piece. It's fantastic. It's funny. He gave us Trauma Uncle Lloyd buttons at WonderCon the first year we went, and I was like, "Oh, cool, thanks." And he goes, "You're not going to put that in your pocket, are you?" I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You're going to put that? Give that here." And he put it on. He goes, "If you got to give me a button, you got to wear it." And I'm like, "This guy knows how to market."
Yeah.
And that's Lloyd.
And you know, I always like how small Hollywood really is, even for the B movie people. Like it's really small, and it's when I saw Guardians of the Galaxy, and I was looking at it, I was like, "Gosh, that guy looked familiar." And which is Lloyd Kaufman. He's one of the.
He's in the. Go ahead.
Oh,
sorry.
when he's trying to remember. I can remember when they first get to the kiln, like, and not first, but when they get on the jumpsuit and they're down there with their other monsters and whatnot, and then they're getting things thrown at them. So the camera pans over and you see Lloyd Kaufman.
Yeah,
I gotta rewatch that.
And I saw it several times. I'm like, that has to be him. So I looked it up, and it is him.
It's him.
But
Because of Jamie Gunn.
yeah, because Jamie Gunn worked with him at was it Tromo?
He got his start at Trauma.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the first job he had.
Have you seen Slither?
Yes.
Yeah, Slither's crazy, and it's a lot like a Trauma film.
Yeah, and they're all good friends with Nathan
Fillion, yeah.
And he's the blue monster to get the stuff, the Groot.
Yeah.
He put his fingers in his nose, and that's supposed to be him too. And I just think it's so small, and it just shows like it's such a small community, and if they work good with you, and you'll end up bringing. You just don't know who would
look
carry
at
it along.
look at Jonathan Demme. He
Yeah.
directed Silence of the Lambs, won the Oscar for it. And if you watch Silence of the Lambs, the head of the CIA is Roger Corman. He has a cameo because Roger Corman gave Jonathan Demme his first break. So it's not. Oh, I love that. Pay it forward and put people in and do a favor. Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Love all that.
Yeah, that's right. That's You just
It's
never
usually
know.
just one scene at a desk, and he's like, "Are you sure about this?" I'm like, "That's Roger Corman."
That's all it takes.
Well, if without Roger Corman, we wouldn't have Jack Nicholson gave him his break in Little Shop of Horrors, or James Cameron. He gave him his break on Piranha 2: The Spawning.
Wow. You ever seen any of the Piranhas?
I saw the first one.
Yeah,
Oh,
Roger
wow.
Corman gave a lot of. I mean, Roger Corman let Ron Howard direct Grand Theft Auto when no one would let Ron Howard. I mean, Opie. We're not letting Opie direct a movie, and Roger Corman was like, "Sure, take a shot, kid." And now, I mean, Ron Howard became one of the biggest directors of all time. Oh yeah, Roger Corman. There's a coffee table book that came out not that long ago about his work. That's like must have for film people, film fans.
Wasn't Ron one of his other first films was Splash?
That was his big screen directorial. Yeah,
and that was
Yeah.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Really kind of.
Was Tom Hanks given a leading role?
Yeah, pushed him forward.
Oh
with
yeah,
that.
Splash. And Splash is notable as being the movie that created Touchstone.
Oh.
Before Splash, no Touchstone because you
that's
could see her butt.
Isn't that a Disney association?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Splash was a Disney film.
Yeah, and
until you can see her butt
Yeah,
when she
and they
walks
were-
out of the water.
yeah.
And they were like, "This is not happening."
Yeah, they wanted to make it, but they was like, we need something else, and that's when they created that. So they were able to have films that had, a little bit
A little
more-
racier, yeah. Because
And it's
Disney had to be so G,
And they didn't have special effects; they had to breathe.
Oh yeah, no, that's a real
they get
fishtail. Yeah.
oxygen action. They have to swim away so they can act
Look
in the
at the-
water.
Look at the cast of Splash: Tom Hanks, John Candy, Eugene
Daryl.
Levy, Daryl Hannah, looking absolutely beautiful. Fantastic movie.
And you've seen it, right?
Yes.
You know that lobster she's eating? She's a vegan. They had to put tofu.
Did they really?
Yeah, put tofu
wow.
in that in order for her to break it and do that. I was like, wow. That's
I love when he hands her the gift and she goes, "Thank you." He goes, "No, you have to open it." Oh, really? Yeah.
That movie was the reason why I wanted to be a mermaid. I did. I was like, I wanted Tom Hanks when I was a little kid. I wanted to swim away from everything. Would you? And the thing is, like, would you leave everything for someone you love? And he did. He left everything. Even
And
his
then
own
Ariel had to
brother.
repay the favor in The Little Mermaid by going on land. All right, we're over an hour here. So any last movies you got notes, anything? We don't want to miss anything. This is good stuff. Mario's got one. Go ahead.
Okay, you go. Yeah, go ahead.
I got to meet this man over at Monsterpalooza as well. What was it? Son of Monsterpalooza?
Yeah.
Yes, George Romero.
Oh, George Romero, the granddaddy of horror movies. Sure.
Yeah.
Yes,
The granddaddy.
Yes, and I told one of the first movies I saw from him and Stephen King was Creepshow.
Oh yeah, Creepshow's great.
Yeah, because the fact that when I first saw the cover, it had that comic book nature to it.
That skeleton in the ticket booth.
Yes,
Oh
with
yeah.
the little boy reading the comic and all that. And I thought, and I'm a comic book reader, and when I saw that, I thought it was gonna be made like into a strip or something, or like animated.
Yeah. Well, the second one had a little bit more of that.
It did have that, and I thought it was gonna have more of that, and it just turned out better than I expected. I mean, those are.
What's the best Creepshow segment? What's your favorite?
Oh gosh, geez, a little hard to tell.
The first
but-
one, not the second one.
Yeah, the first one.
The first one.
Oh, the first one.
You couldn't even find 10 people who remember the second one besides us.
I remember.
Oh yeah,
mine.
we're in the circle, man.
Yes.
People go, there was a sequel to Creepshow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the wooden Indian came to life.
Yeah, Old Chief Woodman.
Old Chief Woodhead.
And they only had 3 segments in that one.
Yeah,
So,
it was Old Chief Woodenhead, the creeping plastic bag on the lake,
Yep. And the hitchhiker.
and the best one. Thanks for the
I
ride,
think
lady.
The Hitchhiker was the best one for me.
Well, that's because everyone who left the theater would go, "Thanks for the ride,
actually,
lady."
I heard there's actually 4 segments because during the whole thing, this kid is trying to get away
Yeah.
from these bullies.
The wraparound is the
Yeah.
story, and it's
So-
Tom Savini at the end, right, as the storyteller
Yeah.
guy in the van.
Mm-hmm.
Boy,
Yeah.
that's some minutia.
Yeah.
So the first one, what's the best one of the first one?
The first one, I would have to say the The one with Leslie Nielsen on it, the one where
The Beach.
the beach.
Yeah, that one's scary.
That one creeped
You
me out.
ever seen that? Where he finds out his wife's having an affair with Ted Danson.
Yep.
So he buries them up in the sand so the tide can drown them. Oh, it's
Yeah.
terrifying.
That
Up
is
to the neck.
terrible. And watches it
yeah,
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things that really amazed me about that is like when something creepy happens, they have this very vibrant light that comes out.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if something horrifying is going on.
Get ready.
Yes, it's like and the sound and all that. It's just amazing.
I would-
How about you?
I would have to say the landlord, the roaches.
Yeah, see, I like the
The
roach.
roach.
Mr.
That
Cat.
right there, I was just
It's
like,
scary.
Yeah.
That is. Ugh.
Yeah.
For the second one, yeah, like I said, it had to have been the hitchhiker.
It's
And
yeah.
thanks for the ride, because it just
The other ones are kinda
you couldn't
silly.
Get away.
But that hitchhiker one's scary.
Yeah, that one-
She hits the hitchhiker on the road and doesn't stop for him, and then just keeps seeing him on the road. It's really scary.
And he keeps running him over
Yeah.
and smashing
Thanks
against
for
the
the ride,
tree.
no matter what
and-
happened. And at the end, you think she's got away. The door opened. Thanks for the ride. Like, and he comes from
Yeah.
underneath. His head is half gone. and-
The effects for the raft was crazy too. When that girl got sucked into that blob or whatever, and she's going up saying it hurts. I was like,
Yeah,
"Ooh."
or when she puts her head down, and then when she lifts it up, it's
Oh,
all
yeah.
melted. You're like, oh yeah, hard to watch.
yeah,
And the guy almost escaped. He's like, I beat you, and that wave
Yeah.
just comes crashing down. I was like,
You're like, you keep running.
I know everybody. When I saw it, people were screaming, "Keep running! Don't stop!"
he's trying to be all cocky.
I know. I would have kept running. I would have left the car. I think I would have just kept going.
And then at the end, it pans over to a sign that says no swimming.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
That's great.
It's genius.
I
It's
can't believe you
very-
remember it so well. That's fantastic.
It is genius. It's like I said, it's one of my favorite horror movies of all time, and I really needed to meet George. And such a sweet man.
Yeah.
Such
Yeah.
a really
He has
nice.
those
I
big
actually got to
glasses,
ask
right?
him
Like Martin
when-
Scorsese.
I actually got to ask him a question for my I did a little article on him, and I actually got to ask him one question, and how did he get started? Like, how did you know you wanted to do this? And he said, I didn't want to do this. This was not my idea. He had a script, and it was a coming of age, and him and his friend wrote it, and they went to mini studios. No one even gave them the time of day. So finally, him and his friend was like, you know what? Let's just write a horror movie. And he said, this is where I am now.
And look what happened.
Yeah,
Isn't that
that
great?
wasn't his first thing.
That's what we tell people all the time on this show is you're going to fail. Failure is part of it.
Yeah.
It's what you take from the failure that defines who you are. Success is easy. Failure is what you have to deal with again and again and again to get to that easy, quote unquote, easy success, right?
Yeah.
Yep, and
You
learn from those failures as well.
Yeah. Anything else you got that we want to say before we wrap up here?
Actually, I wanted to give a shout out. Of
course.
To obviously, I'm a Ghostbusters fan.
Sure.
And Ghostbuster, and whatnot. But I wanted to give a shout out for these 6 groups that I chose to feature them on my website, which are the Northeast Ohio Ghostbusters and the Young El Paso, Texas Ghostbusters. They all, and I really want to give a personal shout out to them because they always get bullied because they're kids and people pick on them because they're Ghostbusters, which I think that's kind of
In this day and age, that
interesting.
seems crazy.
Yeah, these kids, some of them just don't want to do it. Some do. Some are scared because they just get constantly picked on. And that group, it's regular. The adult ones is the El Paso, and they created that to help them boost confidence for them. So even though they still wear their little proton packs and things like that, they're still getting bullied, but they still do what they love.
Wow.
And
well,
I
good
have
for
to say-
them.
Yep.
And
And
also,
these, I'm sorry, go ahead. No, finish.
Also
Sure.
the Springfield Ghostbusters, the Rochester Ghostbusters, the Arkham. It's Arkham.
Arkham.
Yeah, Arkham. I always get that messed up. And the Fort Collins Ghostbusters. So
Now
those
these
the 6.
these are groups that they're Ghostbusters, and they
Yeah.
go to like charity
They
events
go
and
to charity
hospitals.
events, they raise money for their communities.
That's fantastic.
That's what. Well, there's hundreds of them, and these 6 I have them submit their names, and then I randomly choose 6 out of the many that were submitted to me. And his mother chose. She picked them out of my Ghostbusters hat. So every month I choose 6 to put on the front cover of my website. You can click on it, and it goes to their
Oh, that's
their
great.
Facebook
Okay.
or their website and talk about what they do and how you can get involved.
That's
So
fantastic. So I'm sure there are local Ghostbusters chapters you can get involved with here.
Yeah, the one that I'm always hanging around with is Southland Ghostbusters. They're so amazing. I met them, Charles, 2 years ago, and we've been friends ever since. And so then when I met the Flux Capacitors, they're friends with them. So it's just a whole big community.
Small world.
Yeah.
Very, very small world.
That's the best thing about the circles that we've chosen to run in, is that they are pretty small, because we're people that are really passionate about what we're passionate about. Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, Star Wars, you name it. It's fantastic. And you've got, is that a Ghostbusters tattoo? You've got to show that off if it is.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's awesome.
I always forget.
That's dedication.
'Cause I'm like used to having it. Yeah. So yeah, I got that years
You didn't
ago.
share that after I shared my Kevin Smith autograph.
Because I always forget. I'm so used to it.
She's
I do too.
she's like, you know what,
until
Dan-
someone mentions the autograph and Kevin, I'm like, well, I have one on my back. As a matter of fact, like, you do forget.
She's like, Dan Aykroyd did this himself. Okay? I just forgot. With a cigarette dangling, going, "Don't move, don't move." Oh, that's fantastic. Well, anything else?
One more thing.
Yeah, no, plug away. That's what we're here for.
One more thing. A lot of people are giving Paul Feig, he's the director of the new Ghostbusters that come out in July 2016. They're giving him a lot of heartache. And I just want to say, rather if I'm for the movie or not, I support him. I support all. Oh my God, I'm like stuttering here. Leslie,
that just means it's important to you if you're stuttering about it.
Leslie and Jenny. Wait, what's her name? Oh my God, McCarthy.
Melissa.
I'm thinking Jenny McCarthy.
Yeah.
Melissa.
Jenny McCarthy would love to be on that Ghostbusters team. Let me tell you.
But I just wanted to say I support them. They are now Ghostbusters, rather if the movie's good or bad, and I give them much support. I tweet Paul Feig almost every day. 90% he does respond or retweet some of the good things I've said and stuff like that. And he's extremely nice guy. He always wears suit and tie. He's known for that. But the one thing that's really scary is that he gets death threats, some of the casket death threats. People just write really nasty things, and then some people want to justify, it's their opinion. No, that's called bullying. You can give your opinion, it's fine, but when you're threatening someone's life.
Yeah, you and I had like a 15-20 minute conversation about the new Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And my whole thing is I don't threaten anybody. Who am I? I'm not out to hurt anybody. But even though our opinions differ, we have arguments to back it up, to support the way we feel. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like we both said, the proof's in the pudding.
Yeah.
If the movie's good, the movie's good. If it reaches audiences and is a massive hit, then everybody wins.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Whether you're pro the new Ghostbusters or anti the new Ghostbusters, the good news is that the way the movies work right now, next year, whether you like it or not, we're going to get Ghostbusters Happy Meals, action figures, T-shirts, and you know what? As a Ghostbusters fan, everybody wins. If it means there's a new Ecto-1 toy for me to buy, make as many as you want, Mr. Fig. That's how I'm not the biggest fan of J.J. Abrams' Star Wars, but I was there Star Wars night to look at crap I wanted to buy. We're sitting in a monument to my obsession. I collect everything. The firehouse is right behind me.
Yeah.
So if it means it's already done good. Because did you see the Ghostbusters Ultimate Visual Guide came out?
Yeah.
oh my God, I have to have that tomorrow. I just bought the Back to the Future one, and now there's a Ghostbusters one with the original ending? Absolutely.
You're talking about the
The
big
book,
book?
yeah.
I saw that the original Ecto was supposed to be like a taxi cab or something like that. Oh,
I'll take it
that is
all.
So amazing.
Take the taxi.
That is
Because
so
the
awesome.
last Ghostbusters book was called Making Ghostbusters from 84, and for a while it was like $50-$60, and the one I had it fell apart because I looked at it every day like, oh my God, the terror dog and this and that. And no, I have a huge love affair with the Ghostbusters franchise. So everybody on the show has heard my opinion about what's coming out next year, and good or bad, we get merchandise, and that's what I'm all about. Are you crazy?
I mean,
It brings it back into the public consciousness, and from what we're hearing, there's going to be a Channing Tatum, Chris Pratt Ghostbusters, and they're probably going to be a Ghostbusters Men in Black crossover, and a Ghostbusters.
That would actually be interesting. I would want to see.
Did you see they're going to do an animated movie too?
Yeah.
And they're going to look like Venkman and Egon and Ray and Winston. Oh, okay, fine, you got my money right there.
I'm one of the weird ones. I didn't watch Ghostbusters.
You have to
I've
leave
only
now.
seen it because I did it. So this would be like all new to me. This would be my Ghostbusters.
No, I know that because
You know what I mean?
we were in
'Cause
the
I
car.
do your Ghostbusters.
We were in the car and I was playing.
So I'm excited.
I was playing the ba-dum bum bum dun dun dun
I
dun
get it. I
dun
don't know
dun. And she's like,
Ghostbusters
I don't know
at
what that
all.
is. Get that off. And I'm like, that's Ghostbusters.
But there's still people that this is going to be a new Ghostbusters for them. I mean, that's
I just want to know
right?
the theme song. Like, it just we all.
We get to
curious,
find
but
out
we
soon.
won't know. We won't know soon.
Okay, if you could pick somebody to do the theme song for the new film, who would you pick?
Usher. No,
Usher.
No.
no.
That was quick.
No. It would have to be.
That's a tough question,
That
right?
is a tough question.
Ray Parker Jr. is
Ray Parker
iconic.
Jr., yeah.
Ooh, Prince. He's back. He has a new album
Prince.
coming out. I love Prince.
No. I'm like, look at.
Prince.
You know, he could
How
probably
can
do
you
the
just
music.
leave me
He could probably do the
sliming?
music, but he can't sing. Like he can't sing on it because he has. It's a different tone. If
Yeah,
people start
I know.
making love in the theater,
Yeah.
lights dimming,
Dig, if you will,
I
the
know.
echo.
like woo, like
Come on, he did Batman.
Well, it does
Yeah,
look like
exactly. Exactly, he did Batman. Party man, rock the party like nobody can.
yeah.
All of us in '89 went and bought the soundtrack and we're like, what the hell is this? This is 12 Prince songs. Where's the Danny Elfman? Oh, it's a second album? It comes out in July? Well, take this back.
Oh,
I'm kidding. How many times have I played Bat Dance? Come on.
oh my
goodness.
gosh,
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Who would I pick? Let's see, if I could pick somebody to do the Ghostbusters theme song. How about Weird Al? How about if they went like somebody really strange? Like, because Weird Al does parodies, but he also does
just
like
like-
legitimate
I can see
music.
Weird Al.
Yeah.
You know?
I can see him. He turns around with an outfit on.
Yeah.
And you can see him strapping up, getting ready.
click, yeah.
I can see. Yeah, I can see Weird Al.
Weird Al.
Saving
I was
the
like,
day,
yes, I
saving the day. I love Ghostbusters,
I'm
man.
surprised he didn't do a parody on Ghostbusters.
Yeah, man.
That would be.
He was afraid to get sued by Huey Lewis.
Yeah.
Well, unless he asked permission, like he do most of the
Yeah,
time.
well,
right?
he learned that lesson too with Gangster's Paradise.
That was- but
They're
it-
like, you can make it. No, you can't. You did? Oh, I'm going to sue you.
But they should have. It was so good.
Sure, it was.
He
Amish
always
Paradise
does a
is
good-
his biggest hit, if you can believe
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
He does
massive
a
hit.
great
Love it.
job
Great
in what he
video.
does.
Yeah.
If he does a parody, that means you made it. That means you're somebody.
Our family song is the Phantom Menace. What's the original song?
Yeah.
American Pie. Fantastic. So, all right. Anything else you want to plug? You got the Ghostbusters. Plug your blog again. Where are you going to be? How can people find you?
They could,
Are you on
they
tour
could-
with the Flux Capacitors?
I wish. Maybe one day. No. They can find me and my articles and other things I have on there. I always write about when I go to these events, Long Beach Comic Con, Monsterpalooza, Son of Monsterpalooza, WonderCon, Kamikaze. They all have their own tab, and every time I go, I write about it and put pictures up and things like that. So it's always the year after, so you can see the current year and what happened last year. They can go to nerdtasticgirl.blogspot.com. I also have a Facebook, Nerdtastic Girl, Twitter, and Instagram. I do a lot of Instagramming and Twittering. But Nerdtastic Girl, I'm the only one. You type it up, I'm the first thing that pops up.
That's good. You picked a good name. You're the first one.
Yep, original.
You type in 91 reasons, you get like 91 reasons you shouldn't do this. You're like, oh, there's a lot of 91 reasons out there. I'm the podcast one, not the list.
Yeah, and you're in the next page.
Yeah. What about you, Mario? Where can people find you? They want to shake you down.
Oh, well, he is actually... shake you down.
They're like, look, I heard you on that podcast, man. I have some questions about it.
Mario's kind of like... He's like my rock. You know, he's the one that when I first started this, he said, don't disappoint me by quitting.
Oh, that's
that
good.
was the first
good.
thing that came up.
Good for you.
And every time I sit there and just like, oh, this is hard, I just remember over and over and over and over, because I don't want him to give me like a mean look or anything.
Well, that's good. That will urge you to keep going.
He invests his time and he likes to see me happy. And on a good side, he participates in stuff like this as well, and he learns so much too. And he's just so awesome.
How long have you guys been together?
2 years and a couple of months.
Aww.
Yeah.
You have only 20 on him then. 22 years.
That's a good lot. That's nice.
Been married 20 years to the same man. After 20 years, he ain't the same man.
You should wear a shirt. That's a good shirt.
That's about 10,000 calls.
So the difference is when I said, hey, honey, I'm starting a podcast, she's like, I don't want to hear your stories anymore.
I said,
Maybe somebody else will.
Oh, I can't hear you talk.
And now you're on the show all the time. now.
That's because I know our fans now.
Well, they say behind every good man is a woman rolling her eyes.
Yeah, absolutely.
People say that my witty sarcasm and yelling at you and coming in the room at odd periods of your podcasting
well,
is fun for them.
Here's what happened
so I'm
is
trying to entertain the fans.
the show went from. People want to hear what you have to say. Oh, God, I don't know if I can do it. To now, she'll go, what do you mean? Wait, you did an episode while I was at the mall? What was it about? Wait, no, you're not allowed to do episodes unless I know. I'm like, what? I said, no. I'm talking about the Warner Brothers episode. I'm like, no, I asked 3 times for you to sit down with me and do the Warner Brothers tour episode, and you don't have time, so I had to do it. Well, you're not allowed to do that anymore. I have to be on the show. And I'm like, listen here, Lucy, you gotta be on every show I do.
When you do your movie episodes,
yeah,
that's your thing.
Yeah. Well, next week I'm doing Coal Miner's Daughter. You're not allowed to be in around for that one. I'm doing Coal Miner's Daughter, Grease, The Commitments, and Annie all in a row.
Wow.
No, I'm kidding. Those are all her favorite movies.
I have weird choices. You don't have to put it out there.
Wow.
Which one? Which of those are you like?
I enjoy Grease.
See,
Yeah, we have to
Number-
enjoy.
Grease.
Part 2.
Just the original. Yeah, I watched it, but
It's rough. It's one of those.
You don't want
so
a cool
good.
rider? So cool,
It's so bad. It's actually good. It's kind of.
See, I have a soft spot.
I like Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
So she's
I do
in
too.
it. So I kind of
Grease
like.
2 was filmed in my hometown.
And Frankie Valli.
Yeah.
I love Frankie Valli. So
Grease 2, man. You ever seen Grease 2? You ever suffered through Grease 2?
No, I never saw any of them.
any of
not
them.
even Grease.
Nope.
Wow.
We're breaking up today.
I don't think I've ever met anyone that's never seen Grease.
I'm not really into musicals. The only one I could tolerate is Across the Universe, the Beatles.
The Beatles one, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
That doesn't
There's
count.
so many
It doesn't count as a
musicals.
musical.
Well, then that means you've never seen Little Shop of Horrors.
I seen that, but I
That's
wasn't
a
like.
musical.
Oh, Little Shop
Yeah.
of Horrors is fantastic.
My
Yeah.
favorite of all is Singing in the Rain.
Oh, that's a classic.
Yeah. Oh my
Classic.
God.
You gotta get him on board here.
Well, I got 20 years.
Yeah, you got
He's like, look, deal breaker, I'm out. I draw the line at John Travolta singing in either Grease or Hairspray.
Okay, it's either Grease or we do Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Or Staying Alive. I actually
No,
like Staying Alive.
no.
I actually like
If you want to
Staying
keep
Alive.
him, don't make him watch Staying Alive. There's too much almost male
Wait,
nudity
you
in
saw
that.
Staying Alive.
Yeah,
When
I
he
did,
was
but
dead.
I couldn't.
Oh, now you want to say it. You didn't say it then.
Who wrote Staying Alive? Stallone.
Oh,
Stallone.
Stallone, really?
That's right. It's staying alive.
Wait, Stallone also did Oscar, which I liked.
Yeah, I liked Oscar.
Oscar was
Yeah.
fun.
I like that movie. I had a cat. that
Tim
named
Curry.
after that.
Tim Curry's fantastic
Oh
in
my
it.
God.
Marissa Tomei. Yeah. You ever seen
Tim
Oscar?
Curry not doing
You
it.
gotta, it's really
That's a
quirky,
Hollywood.
fun, mafia, off the wall,
Yeah.
fun.
That's a Hollywood
Oh,
Pictures.
yeah.
Remember Hollywood Pictures
Yeah.
for a while?
Wow, really?
They had a bunch of in a row. Yeah. Their logo was the Sphinx. Remember
Yeah.
Hollywood Pictures? And the rumor in Hollywood was if it's a Sphinx, it stinks. Because they had a whole bunch in a row that all bombed. All their Hollywood. Remember Arachnophobia?
I like that one.
Oh no, Arachnophobia is not a bad movie.
Oh, okay.
The problem is nobody wants to go to in a darkened theater to watch a movie about spiders.
Sure.
So the title's off-putting, and the poster was a little town with the moon and a big spider coming down, and there's a scene in the theater where it's on a woman showering, and oh no. So when it came out on home video or on DVD, the little town moon, no spider. You don't even know what it's about until you get it home.
Wow.
And when I worked the video store, people would bring it back, and you could just tell in their faces, we've ruined their night. And they'd go, "You didn't tell me this was about spiders."
That wasn't CG. Those were real spiders.
Oh, yeah, no.
They used real
that
spiders.
freaked people out. Oh yeah, no.
Everywhere they crawl.
No.
If they were crawling, they were real.
That's a situation where the script is good, the movie's good, it's well done with good acting.
Yes.
It's simply a subject matter nobody wants to sit through.
Yeah,
No
it actually
way.
gets like a 7.58 out of 10 rating.
Sure,
on a lot of things.
Jeff Daniels, John Goodman. It's a good movie.
So good.
So-
the guy Warlock.
Julian Sands.
Yes.
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 Yeah. Oh, I'm the only person in the world that's going to go Julian Sands when you go Warlock. This is what's wrong with me.
Actually, hey, Warlock was good. I really like Warlock.
Yeah, I just remember that Warlock was one of those, and there's always one every few summers where the trailer is attached to every movie that comes out, and it was this swirling magic. He's from the Dark Ages, and he's arrived in Los Angeles. Julian, they'd go Warlock.
Yeah, you know
and the title would blink.
The 80s trailers were fun.
Yeah, and they didn't give
were
the
fun.
movie away.
Yeah, they sure did. It's like they just show you
Just
that
enough.
much.
Just enough to get you in theater.
Yep. Now they show the whole movie in the
Oh, I know,
trailer.
right?
Oh, I've seen it already.
Did you see the trailer for Southpaw? The boxing movie with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal, yeah.
He's a boxer. He has a fight. His wife dies. He's down on his luck. Forrest Whitaker trains him. He has a shot at the title. All in the trailer.
Yep.
Oh,
I
that's
saw
it.
the whole movie.
That's it. Well, why we gotta go?
Well, a lot of people thought the same way. All right, we're going to wrap it up. Thank
Okay.
you so much for you guys for driving out and schlepping out to the Cafe 80s for this fantastic. It was a good show. It's fun.
Yeah.
We dove through Halloween movies. We didn't even touch on your Attack of the Killer Clowns shirt that you're wearing.
Oh yeah.
Which is another
I met
classic.
These guys and interviewed them for
Another
my blog. Just
classic.
another thing you have to look for.
Best scene in the movie when the kids are running away and they stop and he makes a balloon animal dog and puts it down and it starts chasing after the kids.
There's actually a lot of information I got about that movie, so well, we don't have much time to talk about it, but you could read about it on my blog.
And where would we find your blog?
nerdtasticgirl.blogspot.com.
nerdtasticgirl.blogspot.com. You should go there right now and check out all of the amazing happenings on your blog.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks you guys both for coming down. Nerdtastic Girl, Mario, schlepping all the way down to Orange County in the shadow of Not Scary Farm for this Halloween-themed episode. Josie's here. Say hi.
Hi.
Rachel's here.
Yep. Hello.
Yeah, there she is.
Hey now, I bought treats. You have to be nice to me.
Yes, yes. On behalf of the podcaster, I want to thank you for bringing all of this crunchy candy with all of. Listen to this, folks. Thank you so much. It's like being behind a big woman in the theater or a big guy that's like, you're trying to be quiet and the more they try to be quiet, the worse it sounds
Everyone
behind
knows
you.
by now that if you come over, there's food during my podcast. You're gonna hear it. If you don't like it, don't listen.
All right, so I'm gonna guess you've never listened to a show all the way through, so you don't know how we end the show.
I've listened to it, but I never get to the whole.
So we always end the show the same way. Did you ever see Private Parts with Howard Stern?
A long time ago.
1997.
Yeah.
He teaches him how to say WNBC. He goes WNBC, WNBC. So we say 91 reasons. So let's try. Let's do a practice one. The show is called 91 Reasons. Oh, that was good. So now we'll really end the show. I want to thank you for tuning in. Go to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review. Check out nerdtasticgirl.blogspot.com. And she's going to be at Kamikaze this weekend.
Yes.
So look for her. Do you wear anything that says...
Ghostbusters.
you're
I'm
gonna-
hanging with the Southland Ghostbusters.
So you're hanging...
Mostly.
Those Ghostbusters came
Yeah,
in
you
there,
see Ghostbusters,
cleaning up the
you'll see
town. Yeah. What does Bobby Brown say in part 2? You guys got any of those proton packs I can have? And you're like, we're with you, Bobby. We all want one. Trust me. So you'll be there with the Ghostbusters. I'll be there with the 91 Reasons crew. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. Check us out on Patreon. Some of the episodes are starting to appear as YouTube videos, so if you want to check it out that way, you can. I don't know why you would, but some people don't have any way of listening to a podcast, so I've been putting YouTube videos up, so that's interesting. If you want to see something fun, check out the review I did of Arthur on YouTube, where I got a really nice compliment where a guy said it was the best review of Arthur he'd ever heard, and he was going to listen to it over and over again. And I was like, well, thank you. And that was the one I did in the car that nearly drove me off the road. I said, I shouldn't do reviews in the car. I'm going to kill myself. I am Jeff Tucker. I am the voice. Thank you for this Halloween episode. Go trick-or-treating. Support trick-or-treating. Don't let it die. Taking your kids out or yourself out and getting bags of candy is every American's right. Don't let it die. No one ever got poisoned by candy from a stranger. It's always been from somebody they know. Staple in a Tootsie Roll, someone they know. Razor blade in an apple, guess what? It never actually happened. That's only from Halloween 2. Never happened. It's all urban legend. Go get this. Listen. Go get all that candy, that sweet, sweet, minuscule-sized candy, Halloween night, and don't let anybody scare you from it. I'm Jeff Tucker. Thank you guys for coming out. The show is called 91 Reasons.
Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock.
It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Be in front of your TV sets for the Horathon. And remember the big giveaway at 9. Don't miss it. And don't forget to wear your masks. The clock is ticking. It's almost time.
Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock.
Thanks for listening to 91 Reasons. Please subscribe and leave a review on iTunes. Find us on Facebook. Is anyone even still listening?